Go ahead, Scott.
So to start with, if you don't believe in miracles, I think that second half, I told the guys a story in the Bible, Gideon, and started with Roach had a couple good days of practice, was trending like we were going to have him, and then we got the call late last night. He couldn't go. That's part of Gideon, and then VJ goes out, and so God, if you don't believe in miracles, this second half, to guys with fouls, such a limited bench, and against a Hall of Fame coach and a great team that don't beat themselves, I think our crowd deserves a lot of credit. When we got closer, they got us over the hump with fatigue, and can't thank them enough. We only had 11 assists, but I think the crowd gets 10 of them. As far as the guys that were able to play, so proud of their effort and their heart, and just how much they competed and what they put out there. Because first half, we were all embarrassed, and we didn't want to make the second half like that.
The last couple of games, you've seen moments where Rob just takes over the game. How much did you need that from him today?
We needed it all, but Rob's a winner and VJ's a winner. And people ask about those two freshmen in particular. They're happy if they score 2 points and we win. They're happy if they score 20 and it takes that to win. You never doubt their intentions and their commitment to being winners. And the bigger the moment, I think we've all seen the better those two have played because of their desire to win for their team.
You guys been scuffling a little bit in conference. What can a win like this do for you guys going forward?
Well, I mean, anytime you beat a top 25 team, let alone Kansas and a Coach Self team, that they don't beat themselves, so much respect for him and what they do and how they do it. So obviously the momentum's good, but we got to get guys healthy, and after we get guys healthy, the next thing is getting some chemistry and some rotations with that, because I know it's kind of like baseball's going to be coming up, and you might have a great starting rotation, and if you only have half that rotation healthy all year, you're like, I just want to see what it looks like when everybody's out there. And I mean, we work so hard in recruiting to get this group together, and we just want to see what it looks like, and hopefully we're getting closer to that.
Scott, you talked about the freshmen and their impact on today's game. It really did seem like they were playing like freshmen in that second half. How have you seen their progression and their growth?
Yeah. Well, again, their intentions are to win, so that takes anything away and allows them to be at their best. At the same time, this time of year, freshmen aren't freshmen. Badunga, you've seen how he's been playing. Today I know wasn't indicative of how he's been playing, but he's no longer a freshman. And early in the year, you have a lot of guarantee games and only a couple Power 5 games per se, or top 25 games, so it's really hard to get a rhythm and really judge yourself. But when you get into league play night in and night out, right away you realize how physical and how fast and how competitive it is. So they've played enough games now. That's 10 of them. They know what it's like.
I asked Norchad just about how much they wanted to get this win for VJ, and he was like, Coach asked us if we were tired in the second half, and we just wanted to keep going. Just to know their heart and to want to keep playing and to battle like that, what does that say about this group at this point in the season?
Well, Norchad told me that too, and I said, well, if I know you're not tired, then I'm going to demand more out of you, all right? So, but I think they wanted to win for the crowd, and they want to win for each other. But I mean, Baylor family's great to us, and I mean, it's not fun not pleasing the crowd. And for those that wanted to leave at halftime, thanks for staying, and glad we could give you that second half.
Did you do anything different on Dickinson in the second half to slow him down? Because obviously he was kind of going off in the first half.
Yeah, I think the best thing we did was we scored, so we were able to get in the press. And if you let Coach Self play chess, he's gonna put people in positions to be successful. And I think our pressure kept them from being able to do that so easy. And the other thing is, I think Josh and Norchad did a much better job in the backside help of trying to make it tougher for them after the beginning of the second half.
Who was your free throw coach this week?
I'm taking it this week. Yeah, it's the one time I'm taking it. But this is God's victory. I'm just telling you, I've been here 22 years, and I don't know if I'm more proud of a group. I mean, down 21, limited numbers, VJ out. What that group was able to do. Glad it's on YouTube. I'll watch that again someday.
Couple questions, Scott. Any update on VJ?
He was celebrating pretty good, but one thing about VJ is VJ will be back when he can be back because he cares about his team and he wants to win. So his intentions are always pure.
And then the run that you made kind of at the start of the second half, there's a point in there, Jalen hits a three, they get fouled, the crowd is into it, they miss 2 free throws, get the cupcakes, Jalen hits another three, VJ hits a floater. The momentum that
you got a good memory.
Thank you. I also have looking at my notes.
I just remember the calls that went against it. Right. Whenever those are in the game.
My question is the momentum that y'all got out of that. Like when you got to like 44, 40 or whatever, are you feeling like, okay, we're back in this?
I mean, we've all been around a lot of games, and you exert so much energy to get back, and then you don't get over the hump. And then they stretch it back, and you don't have anything in the tank. I mean, that's the normal story, and that's where the miracle comes in. What'd they get it back to, 10? Yeah. And then we made another run and then finished it. I mean, again, you watch a lot of games, you don't see that. I don't know if you've seen anything with the short-handed, and then when VJ went out as we had today.
Coach, there's a few games in a row where the fouls have piled up for y'all. How do you manage having your team play aggressively and how they play well, and also managing those fouls?
Yeah, it's hard because the other teams play hard, physical, tough. You have to play it back, and we have the best officials in the country in the Big 12, and our guys just got to adjust each game to what's being called and how it's being called. And really proud of the guys with the 1, 2, 1 fouled out. But when 3 of them had 4, I was joking. Pat Nunley was saying, "Coach, I'll shoot free throws but not play defense." So he was getting excited.
Did your players speak up at halftime, or were they quiet? What was the mood in there?
I think again, this is God's victory, but we were all embarrassed, and we didn't want that feeling for the second half. Hey, you guys have a great evening.
How sweet a win was that, considering what y'all had to overcome?
I mean, first we just gotta thank God for allowing that to be possible. I mean, it was a great win, great win by our guys. Great for Chad and Josh making those free throws at the end, closing the game out. I mean, we just fought to the end. Guys went down, VJ went down. People probably doubted us even more, but we just stayed together and kept praying, and then let God do the rest.
Rob, it seemed like once VJ went down, you just stepped right into that role. What was going through your head, and just getting mobbed by your teammates, I guess, at the end? How cool was that?
It was really cool. My teammates just kept telling me that they trusted me and that it was my turn just to take over the game. So just those guys having trusted me and me just making the plays and just trusting myself.
It seemed like VJ was one of the first guys to celebrate with you once the clock hit 0. How special was it to celebrate and have him hyping you up in that moment?
I mean, it was special because we didn't have him out there on the floor with us at the end, so it felt great to just see him because I ain't seen him for the rest of the half. I was wondering where he was at, but it felt great for him to celebrate with me.
Rob, how important is that floater for you? Because, first half you were trying to get all the way there. Is that something you kind of made an adjustment on, to pull up and hit those?
Yeah, it's definitely been a big adjustment. I used to do it, but went away from it a little bit. So just trying to keep it in my game and just keep working on it with guys like Hunter down there. I mean, you ain't going to get a layup all the time.
Norchad, what about the free throws? You hit all those. Were you working pretty hard this week, and did you put in extra time at the line?
No, definitely. After that game at BYU, I made some free throws at the end. I took that personal. My teammates tell me, like, don't worry, like, you been here for a minute now, so, just trust yourself, do what you do. And, I mean, Rob, every time I went to shoot free throws, Rob said, you got this too. Jalen came to me, you got this too. They trust me, so why wouldn't I trust myself?
Norchad, what was that talk like at halftime, and when did you feel like the flip just switched for you guys in that second half?
I mean, the coaches left the locker room after we taught, and, we just came together and said, we got to believe. If we don't believe, nothing is possible. We came together, we came out gritty, and, we just did what we did. Rob came out clutch. I mean, God know what he was doing, We thought it was something bad that BJ went down, but we thought it was something bad. Rob stepped up big, and, we just thankful for that.
There were a couple times when Kansas took double-digit leads and y'all just kept battling back. How do you keep that focus and consistency to be able to keep mounting those comebacks?
No, I'm going to go back to what we said in the locker room. We just had to stay together and believe. Because, if, like, some parts of the first half we looked defeated, I know we came together in the locker room, we talked about it, and, everybody say if we don't do anything, nobody going to have pity on us, and, nobody going to do anything. So we just had to keep together when they keep scoring. We just had to pull together, and thank God we came back. At some point, I not even know we had the lead. We were just playing so hard. I look up and I was like, we up 5. I was just surprised.
Rob, 2 questions back here again. First, the atmosphere tonight. What was that like, just getting to play in a packed house and the runs that you guys made?
I mean, the atmosphere was special. I mean, we was going off their energy. I think it helped us a lot. They was our 6th guy on the court out there, especially with guys out. I think they was a big part of what happened tonight for sure.
And then just kind of talking about how big this game was, going back to halftime, down 19. How crucial was it that you guys came back and pulled it out here?
We knew it was crucial because we got that game. We lost in overtime at BYU, so we knew we had to bounce back and come back in this game and come strong and just know we had to fight to the end.
Norchad, obviously, you had 4 fouls, a lot of that second half or late in the game. What's your mindset to be able to stay on the court?
I mean, I got to give God credit. I talked with him, but Tweedy came out big. He pulled me aside, and at the second half, I pulled him aside and I tell him, what you see out there. He just tell me, just believe in yourself. Like, I mean, stuff not gonna go your way all the time. They're gonna call some questionable fouls. Stuff not, just believe in yourself. Play basketball. We know what you're capable of. He gave me that confidence back. So that was something big.
And Rob, when the students start chanting, Rob or Wright, I mean, what's that like? Have you ever heard that before?
I actually have, like, once before at my old school when we won a big game. But I mean,
they know he a pro.
It was a great feeling. Great to have the school behind me. It felt good.
Norchad, when you do have those 4 fouls, how do you, is it hard to not, lose some of your aggressiveness overall? Does that make it harder to play the game you want to play when you have so many fouls?
I mean, I think about it this way. I think that another team think I'm gonna get softer. I just get smarter. So that's how I look at it. Be smarter, but not less aggressive.
And then Rob went with kind of a smaller rotation. And once you get all these pieces back, how confident are you in this team that when you get all these pieces together, you can still accomplish what you want to?
I mean, I'm really confident because if you go back to that Utah game when we had everybody, I mean, we were up like 25 as soon as the second half started. So I know we're a very talented group, especially when we're clicking all cylinders, practicing together, and have everybody back.
For both of you guys, when VJ did go down, how badly did you guys want to finish this game out for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's something Coach Drew asked me. He's like, how tired you was? And I answered him with all honesty. I was like, I did not feel tired in the second half, and that's how much I wanted it. That's how much Rob told me he wanted it. I think everybody was on the same, mindset at that moment. All of us wanted it so bad. Probably we were tired, but mentally we were not.
Yeah, we really just wanted to do whatever it took to win. When he went down, we just knew we had to fight to the end and just go what happens. Whatever happens, happen.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you, guys.
Not really much. Let's get out of here and get back to Lawrence and regroup. And we only got, less than 48 hours, I guess, before Iowa State rolls to town. So I really didn't say much. I don't think in situations like that there's really a lot to be said, to be honest with you. Any type of pick 'em up talk isn't going to be heard, and there's no reason to get on anybody. So yeah, I didn't really say much.
Coach, what do you feel like changed? It was kind of a tale of two halves kind of game.
I honestly believe the oranges that we ate at halftime that Baylor provided was probably the reason why we sucked the second half. I thought that, I didn't think they were any good the first half, and we were terrific. And the second half, we came out, I thought, with the mindset to, let's score 0-0 and let's just win the first 5 minutes. And, you get outscored 17-2, whatever, to start the second half. I don't know what it was, but it was close to that. And they had all momentum. So they were as good as we were the first half plus. And we were as bad as they were the first half plus, and just kind of a tale of two halves.
Hunter mentioned that the players in the court should have been more aware of going at the guys who had 4 fouls. Do you try to make the team aware of who those players were and target them at various points, or how do you approach them?
Yeah, well, we wanted to drive it. Obviously they weren't. I'm not going to say they weren't going to guard us, but they weren't going to foul us. So naturally, in that situation, you got to drive the ball, and we didn't do a good job of that at all. But we also had some finishes that were, should be baskets every time, and we came with nothing several times, I think it was several, maybe it was a few, but I can think of 3 or 4 where there's no way we can't come away with points, and we managed not to.
Those 60 points the second half, what was the difference?
I tried to just tell you it's a fruit.
Oh.
So you thought that was a joke. No, it was really the fruit. We didn't guard anybody second half. Their ball screen, our ball screen stuff, and a lot of it's what we told them to do. So that's on me. But the freshman's going to be a really good player. They got one freshman that's going to be a top 5 pick, but the other kid's going to be a really good player, and he wore us out the second half. We had no answer for him.
What difference did that make? Obviously, VJ leaving with the injury, but Rob stepping into that role pretty seamlessly.
Yeah, I've seen him in tape. I've seen him have similar type games. I mean, he gets downhill. When VJ and Rob and Nunn are in the game together, they get downhill about as well as any 3 guards we played with the individual moves. I mean, they're just fast. They can lift you and get their shoulders past you. They get downhill. And then they bring in Lefty. I don't want to mispronounce the name, Celestine. And, he's totally different. He's a perimeter jump shooter. And, of course, he made them in the second half. So they've got a good blend. And that's without, Roach. They've got a chance. I can't speak to Scott's teams. I've talked to Scott on the phone, and I know that they've struggled having all their pieces together all year long. And if they can get right at the right time, that's a team that could, seriously be dangerous. And today, second half they were right, and of course we contributed to it in every way, shape, or form.
I know you place a lot of value on who finishes out games. How'd you kind of decide to go with KJ and DE over Flory and Shaq for that last stretch?
Flory and Shaq didn't score today. So, and at least, the other 2, at least, the lid was off the basket a little bit. So, yeah, that wasn't a real difficult decision.
You guys had trouble closing out that UH game last weekend and then this today. Any concern about the closeout part of it, or is it easy to just kind of move on?
No, it's not easy to move on. To me, there's some concern. The closeout part today was a little different because we're up 7, if I'm not mistaken, at the under 8 timeout and didn't close out. The other team, we're up 6 with 18 seconds left. I mean, it was certainly shooting free throws. It was 2 different type games. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think Baylor had the lead by the under 4 timeout. So we certainly didn't play very well in certain segments, without question. But the way the game ended was indicative of how the entire second half went. It wasn't just a closeout, if that makes sense to you.
When you called that quick timeout in the second half, early in the second half, you looked a little upset. Do you kind of worry about that when you've got a big lead and you kind of come out in the second half and maybe you let the guard down a little bit?
Well, we don't talk about don't let our guard down. We talked about they're going to be a different team this half, and we have to be as good or better than we were the first half. So I don't like talking about the negative, even though you can present it in a way where it's factual and not negative, and that's what we try to do. And obviously it's a 7-0 run in the first minute, and total complexion of the game changed.
To go along with that, do you ever feel like you had the momentum, like you said, up 7? I think you were up double digits at one point in that second half.
Yeah, they went on a 17-0 run, I think. No, I never felt like we had momentum in the second half, even though it got back to 8 or whatever, under 8 timeout, but I never felt like we had momentum.
Are you happy you have a game Monday, or, coming back from a tough loss?
No. We're going to postpone it till Tuesday. So, it's a lot easier to play on a short break if you have momentum going into it and energy and all that stuff. And we're going to have to regroup, obviously. So by Monday we'll be happy we're playing. But certainly that's a tougher test for us today than it would be for Baylor if they were playing Monday. Okay, guys, thanks.
What does it take to kind of rally the troops after having another loss this demoralizing?
Yeah, it's tough, but that's kind of life in the Big 12. We got a top, 5 opponent coming into Allen on Monday, so it's a real short turnaround. We got to put this one behind us and really prepare for a really good team coming in.
Hunter, what was the difference in both halves?
The difference was they scored 21 points in the first half and then scored 60 in the second. I don't think you'll ever beat a team allowing them to score 60 points in a half. I think that's pretty hard to overcome, even if we have a 19-point lead going into halftime.
Hunter, even with VJ going out there, what was so difficult to stop Rob and I guess just his crew there?
He just did a really good job of coming off the screen, putting our guards in jail, and then kind of playing off that. Their bigs do a good job of really being unselfish and kind of screening the bigs off so that the guards can really, get some open shots down there.
I think Baylor kind of got into foul trouble early, but it seemed like it flipped somewhere in that game. How did that factor into play out?
Yeah, we should have been more aggressive towards the guys who had 4 fouls because they were key guys, and so I think that's on the players. We got to be more aggressive, trying to get downhill, try more contact.
Zeke, what took away when it looked like it was going well the first half?
I don't know. They were they were probably just more aggressive on defense the second half. But we kind of expected that, knowing they were down big at half, and then coach probably jumped them and told them to be more aggressive and run us off the line, forced us to make plays inside the perimeter. So that's probably what it was.
Hunter, what was the mood at halftime? Do you think you guys relaxed at all?
We were pretty confident at halftime. We felt like we did a really good job of guarding their sets and really forcing some bad shots, and we were playing off that. I think in the second half we just did not get stops. I don't remember a time where we got like 2 in a row stops, so gave up too many points in that second half for sure.
What kind of impact did the press have? It seemed like it forced a few turnovers before they figured it out.
Yeah, we got to figure out something. Teams are clearly noticing that that's a trouble for us, and so we got to go back to the drawing board as a team, coaching staff, players included. We got to go figure something out.
Zeke and Tyler, will it be especially difficult to come back since it looked like you had a comfortable lead? It has to be a pretty tough loss compared to other ones.
Yeah, I mean, any loss is terrible. I mean, honestly, for me, I hate losing more than I love winning. So this one definitely stings, knowing we had a big lead at halftime, but it's a Big 12. I mean, anything can happen. Every team in this league is good, more than capable of coming back from a deficit like that. So.